Today we're going to take a look at a Benchmade clone. This is on loan from Randy's WSG. Now, as soon as I first picked this up, you can see the pocket clip definitely looks fake. You can tell this is a real cheap thin stamped steel. It's not made anywhere near Benchmade's quality. So that's just an immediate dead giveaway. Another giveaway is these scales. These are some kind of plastic. Benchmade doesn't make a 940 with plastic scales. Their scales are G10. Now, just other things too that you pick up. The access lock. The bar sticks out a little further on each side. Then when we look at the blade just looks smaller. It's smaller up here on the tanto tip. The grind is a little different. The etching is not the same. Actually, the etching looks better than it does on the real Benchmade. Now that said, the knife works very smoothly. It says S90V on the blade. Osborne design, has the patent number. So this isn't one of the new ones that were made after the patent expired that just used the access lock. This one was one that was made to be a clone. And you can see the Benchmade logo on this side. Now let's give a quick comparison to a real Benchmade. They do look pretty similar. This is G10, this is just orange G10, but you can feel the difference, and just, squeezing on it, you can just feel it. And like I said, you can see it in the quality of all the parts. Everything is a very noticeable step down. Now let's take a look at those etchings. Okay, that's what the etchings look like. So you can see that it's larger on the fake. You see you have a nice stone wash finish on the blade here, versus you can see all these grind lines, which that is not like Benchmade to have those grind lines like that, especially not on the 940. You see here where it's rounded in nice, and here it's very angular. It's different. There's just subtle little things you can tell. The thumb studs look and both feel cheaper. I think they might be just slightly smaller. On this side you can see the Benchmade logo. I think you can pick it up right here. On the clone, the logo is actually darker. See, on the Benchmade 940, I know it's etched on, probably with a laser. But it might be printed on. I'm not sure how it's put on this, but you can see what I mean. It's darker than an actual Benchmade. I think you can see it here in this shot too. The Osborne logo is bigger, and you can see it different down here, where up here it has the long patent number, and on the real 940 it does not. Just looking at the two on the table, you can see also the blade is taller. This blade is a little shorter. Here you can see the difference in the tanto tip. The overall blade length is also shorter, and that's one thing when you pick this knife up and open it, you immediately feel this is smaller than the Benchmade. You can see the difference in the ricasso area down here. Now, all that said, this actually is a pretty good knife. Even though this says S90V, obviously there's no way. My guess is this is probably D2, and you get a lot of really well done D2 tool steel out of China. So this actually is not a bad knife, and this knife would serve well. So I mean, if you can get one of these knives for $25 or $30, you actually have a pretty good knife for the price. And that's what you would get anyway in that price range. You would get get a nice knife made with D2 steel. I would carry this, especially for rough use days, or if I'm doing things where there could be a high probability of losing a knife. This would be a great knife to carry. You could almost think of them as a disposable 940. It cuts well, it holds an edge. The action, I'm even working at left hand, the action is good. The action is actually as good as a Benchmade. Let me see if it'll drop shut. Yeah, it dropped shut. So this knife really isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I do like it as a cheap knife. Now, I have seen people selling these on eBay for like $120, $130 and advertising them as a Benchmade. And it gives you most of the look and feel of a Benchmade. The action is there. You get to experience the axis lock. So I really don't have any complaints about this knife, other than the people that are trying to pass them off as real Benchmades, and the company that puts the patent number on. And you can tell this is made to be passed off and sold as a Benchmade, as a scam. And that's the problem that I have with it. Today there are so many knives that use the axis lock since the patent has expired. Here's an example. Vosteed Raccoon. I'll have to do a review on this in the future. Very nice knife. See, Vosteed Raccoon 14C28N. Now, one thing that's different about this, see, the access lock, the lock bar sticks out a little farther, which is nice because it gives you a better grip on it, which is especially nice because this spring is a lot stronger than the springs on the Benchmade. These are actually an improvement. It's thicker steel. I doubt these will ever break or go anywhere. These are really nice. You can spidey flick it, thumb flick it, just use the access lock, and you get a stronger detent. And I think this is actually an improvement. This will also be on bearings. You can see how free that drops. That's what you get with bearings instead of washers. And these knives come in around $60. So for not that much more, today you can get a knife that uses the access lock, that's not a scam, with really good steel, really good manufacturing, a reputable company. If I can get this for $60, I would not buy this for $30. So even though, like I said, this is a great deal and this would make a great hard use knife, I would much rather spend $60 on this from a good company, a good solid company that's not trying to pull a scam, rather than spending $30 on a knife from a company that is trying to pull a scam on people. Well, that's it for today. I've got to get a couple knives in the mail back to Randy. We'll see you on the next one.